everybody, Dobbin Buck here from the GetUWired cabin headquarters. So glad for you to enjoy us for another installment of Cabin Signal. Today in our marketing section, I am super excited about our guest, Michael Hunter from Spiffy. Michael and I have known each other for years. We've met up at events, had many dinners together. He's espoused great amounts of wisdom to me, things that have helped guided me in my strategic decision making. Michael recently, this last year, came to the GetUWired cabin headquarters in the backwoods of North Georgia and shared all sorts of incredible conversion, important wisdom to 40 or so members of our team, and actually sent out a whole box load of Spiffy t-shirts. So when he showed up in town, the entire team was wearing Spiffy t-shirts in honor of his arrival. And so I was so impressed with the intel that Michael had shared to the team. I was like, this is imperative that we share this with our clients and with our audience and the people that look to us for guidance in what we're doing. Spiffy is a SaaS platform that GetUWired 100% stands behind. For our order form services, we are 100% advocates. We're partners and big fans. We're big fans of the product, and we're even more big fans of the incredible genius and geniuses behind the product. So without further ado, I introduce you to my friend, Michael Hunter. Michael.
Thanks, Dobbin. Thanks so much for having me. Great intro. And yeah, I mean, it was a super awesome trip out to Georgia to come to the cabin. And yeah, I mean, you've created something super special there. So really excited to share some information that can be helpful to your clients, to your team, and to the broader reach that I know you have in the marketplace as a thought leader in the digital marketing space.
That's great. Well, hey, why don't you break down, really just to get started, Michael, give them the elevator speech or the basic breakdown of what Spiffy is and what Spiffy helps to compensate for in today's marketing strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. So in short, Spiffy is a smart checkout page builder, a software tool that makes it really easy for anybody to take payments through their website. You know, it's 2020 and it's still way too hard for the average business owner to take a dang credit card payment through their website. We all know of tools like Stripe and PayPal, but nobody wants PayPal buttons all over their website. And when it comes to Stripe, it's great for some simple transactions, but when it comes to actually implementing best practices and revenue boosting strategies like one-click upsells and checkbox offer bumps and all of these subscription management and integrating all the sales data with your CRM, you're left to like a Zapier integration, which is good for some basic stuff. And we're huge fans of Zapier, don't get me wrong, but in the modern world, it's not enough. And so Spiffy is a checkout page platform that integrates with popular CRM and market automation tools like ActiveCampaign and Infusionsoft, Keep, HubSpot, and making sure that all of the automation happens. So we integrate with both Stripe and PayPal, and we're basically like an automation layer that really makes it super simple to get beautiful mobile optimized, conversion optimized checkout pages up on your website extremely fast.
Yeah, the amazing thing is, and guilty as charged, pre-Spiffy, pre-Michael wisdom, we put many hours of design, copy, everything into our funnels, into our advertising, into our strategies for selling different products, different services. And it's sort of like, then right before you get to the the checkout page, it's like, I'm done, create an order form, and ultimately what I'm sure you're going to impart is that you might want to move that final barrier a little bit further down the road, because the importance of the conversion methodology and all the options at your disposal in the order form, checkout form, scenarios that we enter into, it's severely overlooked. It's severely overlooked by even agencies. But then if you go to small businesses that are, are actually able to put together systems on their own, and they're DIYers. Like, a lot of times this is overlooked. And I tell you what, there have been hundreds of times with me as a consumer that I've gotten excited about a product. I've researched that product. I've gone through the marketing. I've gone through the website of the product. And then there was something that happened in the transactional final steps of my experience with them that I bailed, just like something wasn't working easy, or something felt a little bit janky, or if I was on the edge, there wasn't something there to just pull me over to the other side, and I've been there, and I know everybody that's watching has probably been there in the last month. And Michael is a wizard and has spent years optimizing this, this final channel. And this also erupts into upsells, cross sells, and all sorts of other opportunities in there. So I'm really excited to hear what's happening now for you, Michael. And actually, let's just, before we go any deeper, what are your ideal customers, and what are the types of customers that you see really making the best use of the systems and the philosophy that you provide?
Yeah, so right now, the best customers for Spiffy are people that are using the platforms I mentioned before. People are using ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, Keep, HubSpot, and are selling either services, like agencies, consultants, authors, speakers, personal brands. People are thought leaders. So they're either selling services or digital products. You can absolutely sell physical products through Spiffy as well, but right now that's really our main focus are people kind of in that thought leader, consultant, expert vein.
Yeah, it's incredible. So you're in all the cool kid clubs. So Infusionsoft, Keep, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot. Did you say Entreport? Are you guys in Entreport or not?
Not yet, but that's on our radar for sure. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all the big dogs that at least in my circles that we're all the pools that we're all swimming in. So that's really exciting. And I'm just real stoked for us to get in. Do you have a little bit of wisdom that you can lay on us that will then guide us into why Spiffy is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. And you did a perfect segue into the topic for today. So today I actually have a slide deck that I'll pop up here as well. I'll go ahead and do that right now. So I'll share my screen really quick.
All right.
And then make this full size. So what I want to share with you guys today is how to increase conversions and kind of the future of e-commerce in general. And going back to what you were talking about earlier, Dobbin, that we do all of this work to get somebody to get to our checkout page. And oftentimes we fumble on the 1 yard line, so to speak, if you are a football fan, or we trip on like right before we're about to get the sale by not having a seamless mobile optimized checkout experience. Everything these days is moving mobile. I'm going to share some stats here with you guys. And it's really, really important that you're not only making sure that it's easy for people to buy your products and services through your website on the computer, but also testing and optimizing for mobile devices as well. So what we're going to cover today is just a little bit about the online payments landscape. What are the options out there? What's happening in the payment space? Some of the pains and challenges of small business owners. Obviously, there's probably a lot of small business owners watching this, so you'll probably be able to relate to some of those. We're going to talk about the future of e-commerce. We're going to talk about strategies and tactics that are proven to increase revenue, and also different levers to pull to increase conversions as well. And then we'll also talk about the ability, 12 different ways that you can boost conversions on your actual checkout page. Just a little bit of background on Spiffy. So Spiffy was actually born out of our marketing agency. So for the past decade, we've worked with authors, speakers, coaches, personal brands, and we've used all of the different software tools out there. And we realized that nobody was really doing a great job at taking payments. Tools like Kajabi and Infusionsoft and other tools like that payments was an aspect, it was a feature of their software, but it wasn't their core focus. You know, Kajabi's focused on Kajabi's focused on membership sites, right? And they have the ability for you to have a checkout page, but it's not their core functionality. And then, you know, same thing with other tools out there. Nobody was really focusing on checkouts. And that's like the most important part of being a business owner, is being able to take payment and be able to make money, right? That's why we all started our own business, so that we could make more money. And we identified about 5 years ago, we saw ActiveCampaign kind of come on the map in a bigger way. They've obviously been around for a lot longer than that, but that's when they kind of became more well-known. And they planted their foot in the ground as, hey, we are a marketing stack solution. And we saw Zapier emerge. And we realized like it's just going to get easier and easier for people to connect best-in-class software without having to be a developer, without having to hire an expensive developer to code all this stuff together. It's just a couple clicks away, where I can connect the best CRM with the best marketing automation tool with the best checkout platform. And so we realized that nobody was really focused on the best checkout platform. And so that's what we wanted to build. You know, back when we first had the idea of starting Spiffy, you know, not a lot has really changed in the payment space in the last 4 years. And we've been lucky in that regard. But again, in 2020, if you're a business owner, if you are an executive that's retiring and wants to do consulting, you don't like how are you taking payments through your website? Like it's a very challenging thing that there's not a go-to solution in the marketplace. So we created Spiffy to do that. So right now, the current landscape is, again, there's a lot of those tools out there, you know, like ClickFunnels is great at building funnel pages and building landing pages and opt-in pages, and payments is an aspect of their software, but it's not a great solution. There's a lot of tools out there that are very, very simple and restrictive, and they only do subscriptions, or they only do, you know, shopping carts. They don't do subscriptions. They don't do one-click upsells. They don't do payment plans. They don't do, you know, billing. There's the list of what they don't do is longer than what they do, right? And so like there's a lot of tools like that, and there's a lot of really powerful tools that do a lot of things. They're very flexible. You know, Infusionsoft, for example. It's a very, very powerful tool, and their e-commerce platform is one of the most flexible platforms there is, but it's also, you know, slightly outdated. So it takes a lot of custom code, or using a tool like Spiffy to optimize it. And there's a huge learning curve attached to that, right? So it's not like a tool where you can just like sign up for Infusionsoft today, and within 20 minutes have a checkout page up ready to take payment. Like you now have to go through the process of, you know, setting up a, you know, merchant account, setting up all of your order forms. And again, Infusionsoft is just a tool that has very, very powerful tool. I love Infusionsoft, but it's not fast to get paid, if that makes sense. And so we wanted to take the best of both worlds. We wanted to find a tool that's very, very powerful, that's not limited, but is very simple and easy to access. Right now, there's one of the new things in the marketplace is the concept of checkout pages. So we actually, Spiffy is a checkout page solution, and a lot of people, it's a new concept to them. So people are very familiar with shopping carts as far as like their normal buying experience, you know, through different websites, you know, obviously like Amazon or Macy's, where essentially you have product pages where you can add a product. You can see all the details of that product, add that product to a shopping cart. You can review your shopping cart. You can then go to a checkout page and then enter your information and then buy your purchase. It's a multi-step process that there's lots of clicks in that process. Checkout pages are a single page checkout where it's a fixed offer, where you have a set bundle of products and or services, and the customer cannot add and remove any combination of products to that checkout page. Obviously, you can add checkbox offer bumps and one-click upsells, so there's a little bit of flexibility to add another item to the order, but it's a little bit more focused. And what checkout pages allow you to do is allow to tailor the messaging of a campaign and tailor the content on the actual checkout page around what you're offering to boost conversions. So a shopping cart is more of kind of like a marketplace where you kind of throw your customer into that shopping cart, the storefront, and kind of let them, guide their own way, navigate their way and find what they want to buy, and then, go through the entire process on their own, where a checkout page is a much more tailored experience. So if you're doing anything through Facebook ads, or you're trying to sell anything through a funnel, a marketing funnel through email or whatnot, checkout pages are a great way to actually increase conversions. The issue with most checkout page solutions, there's a lot of all-in-one solutions. There's a lot of tools out there built by marketers for marketers that have a lot of bloated features that you don't really either aren't used at all, or else people that are using them aren't using them to get statistically valid data back. Things like split testing. If you're split testing a checkout page, it's really, really hard to get enough data, enough visitors to a checkout page in order to actually get a statistically valid split test. A lot of people, have unreliable surface level integrations. Like, they don't actually have the deep data integrations that's actually passing all the sales data back to their CRM. So they have all their marketing automation in one place. They have all their sales information and sales data in another place, and there's this disconnect. So if in 2020 you have two different data sets, if your sales data and your customer data are not together, then you're absolutely 100% shooting yourself in the foot and missing out on a lot of data that you could be using to find hidden pockets of revenue. We hit on this a little bit earlier. A mobile checkout experience is no longer a nice to have, it's a necessity. Consumers demand a seamless mobile checkout experience. And, up until, a couple of years ago, it took a lot of money, a lot of development time to get a mobile responsive website, to have a mobile responsive checkout, a mobile optimized checkout. These small businesses are competing with Amazon and Google and Facebooks of the world, that people are on Facebook every single day. They're shopping on Amazon every single day, and they're used to a seamless mobile experience. So when they hit a small business and the checkout process isn't, even close to, a good mobile experience, that's when people bounce. And so, in this new mobile landscape, in this new kind of world of technology, we're not only competing with people in our industry, but we're also competing with the customer experience of the biggest corporations in the world. And so that's one thing that we take very, very seriously at Spiffy, is like giving the small business owner the power of mobile optimization to make it as easy as possible for your customers to pay you from any device. So whether you're using Spiffy or not, this is absolutely important. I feel like I'm beating the dead horse, so to speak, but I cannot stress enough how important having a seamless mobile checkout experience is. Right now, go ahead, Dobbin.
Yeah, one thing, and I'm habitually buying different things through my phone. So I'm finding out I'm on Instagram a lot, and I get caught in the loop, and I get caught in the beautiful pictures and the product traps and things like that. And it's amazing how many mobile carts or supposed mobile carts I go to from that experience, and that don't work, or it's framed to where you can't actually get to the selections that you want, or just different options and things that go with data entry on the form and other things. And I'm like, the thing that I question is, if people are going to all the effort to advertise and to promote a product, wouldn't you think somebody would go in there and actually go through the purchase process to see what the customer end experience is? It amazes me how paltry many of these experiences are when they aren't on a current, relevant, useful system like Spiffy, and there's a lot of them out there. I guarantee there have been many lost sales towards me. If I have a bad experience in that checkout, why would I trust anything else about the experience?
Totally. And to your point, like, if you're running Facebook ads, a majority of people viewing your Facebook ad are on a mobile device. So if you're sending mobile traffic to a non-optimized checkout experience, you're literally just flushing money down the toilet. You're pouring water into a bucket that has holes in it, right? Like people are just falling out. They're bouncing from the checkout page. And so when people, and I'm going to get into some conversion optimization tips here in a second, but typically when people think about doubling their business, they're like, well, shoot, I need to double my ad spend. And really the place to start is at the bottom of the funnel. Optimize your checkout experience. And there's some small tweaks that you can make that we'll get into here in a few minutes that can actually double your revenue without spending another dollar on advertising. And so that's where conversion optimization really gets exciting, is when you actually see these numbers. And I'll share kind of a spreadsheet with you and show you the numbers. But the best place to start if you're looking to increase revenue, double your revenue in the next 12 months, is starting at the bottom of the funnel, making sure you have a solid bucket so that when you're pouring all of your leads down the funnel, that you're collecting as much of that water as possible.
Hey, if you all didn't hear that, hit rewind and go back like 60 seconds or a minute and a half and listen to Michael say that again, because ultimately that's, the solution for people when they aren't seeing the conversions that they want is, let me throw more fuel on that ad spend fire, as opposed to let me look at why my conversions aren't working. If you're getting people coming through and you aren't getting the conversions that are adequate or seem logical, there's probably something wrong. There's something wrong in the strategy. There's something wrong in the layout. There's something wrong in the strategic approach to your product or service conversion. And your checkout page could be the gap. Start at the bottom. That was great advice.
Totally. And that's a perfect segue to this slide. There's this mobile commerce gap where people are spending most of their online browsing time from a mobile device, but they're still not spending, like the amount of dollars spent in e-commerce from mobile devices doesn't match the amount of time that they're spending on a mobile device. So people are spending 71% of their browsing time on a mobile device, but mobile commerce only makes up for 44% of all e-commerce. And so that's the gap. And that's what we're talking about, is this bad mobile experience. If I'm browsing and if I'm shopping from my phone, the only reason why I wouldn't buy from my phone is because it's not an easy checkout experience. And so that's really the gap, is making sure that you have the mobile checkout experience totally dialed in and make it easy for people to buy from you from whatever device they're shopping from. Oops. Sorry about that. So some other reasons for not converting. The site wanted me to create an account. That's more typical in a traditional e-commerce setting, where you're actually having a multi-step checkout experience, and some sites force you to create an account, which is never a good idea. That doesn't necessarily apply to checkout pages in Spiffy, but if you are a traditional e-commerce store, make sure you have a guest checkout and that you do not require people to set up an account before they give you money. If you want them to set up an account, have that be after you collect the money. And it's kind of the same concept with checkout pages. A lot of times we'll see some of our customers do some crazy stuff where they have all of this information on the form that they're trying to collect, birth date, height, weight, whatever it is. Like, you don't need all that information before they give you the money. Have that information be a web form on the thank you page where you collect the money. And if they don't fill out the information on the thank you page, you can follow up with them at a later point. The important part is to make the sale, make that as seamless as possible, and then collect other information after the sale. So that kind of ties into, too long or too complicated of a checkout process, security concerns, didn't trust the site with the credit card information. They can't see product details, too difficult to input details. So a lot of this just has to come with, has to do with having a seamless checkout experience and making sure that you're hitting all these buckets. Make it easy for people to buy, and they will. So when it comes to increasing revenue, there's really 3 different levers that you can pull. Obviously, there's a lot more than this, but we like to focus on these 3 as a starting point. Is you can focus on traffic, you can focus on conversion rate, and you can focus on lifetime value. So again, as we were just talking about before, a lot of times people are like, oh, I need to make more money this year. I need to make more sales, so I got to get more people. Not necessarily. Conversion rate is really the place to start. So this is all about, how do I convert more of the traffic that I'm already getting? And then how can I make the customers that I already have more valuable to my business? And so those are the 2 places to start. First, how can I convert more of the eyeballs that are already getting exposure to my products and services? And then how can I make those customers worth more to my business before you start going out there and spending a lot of more time, effort, energy, resources trying to get more exposure. Optimize for conversion rate and lifetime value first. So this is the power of optimizing for conversion rate. So again, a couple seconds ago, I talked about how critical it is to start at the bottom of the funnel and how just a few small tweaks, you can actually double your revenue from the traffic that you're already getting. Now I'm assuming with these numbers, and again, these are for example purposes only, these aren't guarantees, but if you're a business and you're generating leads and you have traffic to your website, you're already an established business, a few small tweaks can literally double your revenue. Now, first and foremost, you need to know what your current conversion rate is. A good conversion rate on online marketing is about anywhere between 2 to 10%, depending on price point. Obviously, if you're selling something that's $5,000, your conversion rate is going to be lower than if you're selling something for $200, right? But first and foremost, you need to know what your conversion rate is. So going through this chart really quick right here, starting CR, starting conversion rate. Maybe you install Google Analytics on your site, you see that you have a 1% conversion rate. Like at first you're disappointed and you're bummed and you're probably pissed off and angry, but there's really good news. It's really easy to double your revenue. You only need to increase your conversion rate by 1% and you increase your revenue by 100%. That's 2 times, right? So if you have a low conversion rate, you can make some of these small tweaks that I'm going to share with you here in a minute, and you can probably double your revenue just from those small tweaks. Again, you have a 2% conversion rate right now. You increase it just by 1%. Your new conversion rate is 3%. You just had a 50% increase to your bottom line. If you are in consulting or services or things like that, things that have high margins, a lot of that increase in revenue is straight bottom line profit. And again, because you're already doing the advertising, there are already people that through other through your Facebook ads, through events, through other marketing channels, you're already spending the money and the time and the effort getting these eyeballs. So a lot of this is just found money. Going to the very bottom of this chart, if your starting conversion rate is 4% and you increase it just by 1%, your new conversion rate is 5%, and you just increased your revenue by 25%, which is a solid increase for just making a few small tweaks. So again, example purposes only, no guarantees, but this is the power of conversion rate optimization. And it's much, much easier to focus on optimizing your conversion rate rather than having to go out there and figure out how to scale your ad spend to 2, 3, 4 times what you're currently spending. And it's really important to start here first before you go do all that, because it's going to make the money that you spend on ads actually get that much more of a return on your investment. So here are some 3 main things to focus on. In a few minutes, I'm going to jump into 12 different things that you can do on the actual checkout page that will optimize for conversions. But these are the 3 big pillars of how to increase conversions. Number 1 is social proof. So through your funnel, through your customer experience on your checkout page, are you having indicators of social proof? Things like testimonials, awards, media appearances, any type of third-party credibility that can add credibility to what you are doing. The next is having an irresistible offer. No amount of marketing in the world can fix a broken offer, right? Like it needs to solve a real problem in the marketplace. It needs to be something that people actually see the value in. But there's some things that you can do to actually make it an irresistible offer where people are pulling out their credit card right now and buying right now. So cost versus value contrast. An irresistible offer is when the perceived value of the product or service is greater than the cost to the customer. And so this is where sometimes we, everybody thinks their own baby's cute, right? And so we see the value in our products and services, but it's really important that you're having conversations with prospects and customers and making sure that they see the value in your product and service, because that's what matters. And a lot of that can be done through messaging and copywriting and positioning and things of that nature. The last thing is risk reversal. This is the easiest thing to implement, is having a 100% money back guarantee, some type of warranty, and making it so that you as the business take on the risk and create a frictionless buying experience. So a lot of software companies, for some reason, they don't offer like a money back guarantee. but we have a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. And I guarantee you that we make 10 times more sales because we have it versus people that have actually taken us up on the refund. Obviously, it starts with having a great product and having confidence in your product and service. But if you're not confident in your product or service, you shouldn't be selling it anyways. And so having a 100% money back guarantee or having some type of risk reversal, maybe it's, a 100% results guarantee if they take the proper steps, if they follow your program and do all of the all of the workbook and attend the event and all these things, and they don't get the result, they can turn in and show proof that they did all of the work. So there's lots of different ways where you can position a risk reversal, but it's important to have a risk reversal. So Dobbin, unless you have something that you want to chime in on, I can jump into the 12 ways to boost conversions on your actual checkout page.
Yeah, let's look at the 12 ways to boost, man. You've got my attention. I'm getting a little bit of a refresher, but I'm ready to get completely refreshed. And pay close attention to this, because this what he's getting ready to show you, it really is some like valuable, useful things that you can immediately implement if you have the system and the wherewithal that'll allow you to.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of these things, obviously Spiffy makes it easier to implement these things. But you can implement these 12 things with a lot of different tools out there. Just takes a different level of, technical knowledge and things like that to implement with other tools. But we'll dive into it and go from there. So again, this is kind of like tongue in cheek, but the number one reason why people don't make sales is because they aren't getting enough of the right people in front of their offer. So again, just to preface everything that we've talked about up until this point, you can dial in your conversion rate, but if you are trying to sell lawnmowers to housewives, it's probably an audience mismatch, right? Like maybe it's not a great example, but making sure that you have the right audience that is getting in front of your offer is critical. So mobile optimized experience, talked a ton about that. Aesthetics, your order form should look clean, professional, and trustworthy. A company with a beautiful checkout process is always going to convert better than a company that the checkout process, the website, the online presence just looks like it's outdated. And so just making sure that you have something that's clean, easy to use is very important these days. Long gone are the days where just having a website up online was credible. Back literally in like the early 2000s, like just the fact that you had a website was like, oh wow, like they're a legit business. Now, like your website has to look really good and it has to look good across all devices. And it's critical that your checkout pages and your your checkout pages and your mobile checkout experience is looking modern, clean, and good. It's important to reestablish the value of your offer on the checkout page. So this is the advantage of a checkout page over a shopping cart, is that since the offer is fixed, you can actually add copy to your actual checkout page so that is tailored to that specific offer. So now on the actual page where they're giving me money, I can remind them what they're getting in exchange for that. So you never want to leave the value of your product or service to the memory of the person that's buying. So, even just going from a sales page, clicking buy now, going to a checkout process, like in that gap, like you don't know what's happening in the world of your customer. They could be riding the bus stops, somebody's honking their horn, they look away, their kids are screaming in the background, their dog's barking, they have to go answer the door, so between the sales page and the checkout page, like you don't want to leave the value of your offer up to their memory. And so you want to make sure that you hit all of the value-based driven, the value-driven bullet points for your offer on the actual checkout page.
I've actually gone back through, like deleted the process, gone back through and replaced an order for different offers because I thought I was getting a special offer. It didn't reiterate it on the checkout page. And then I'm like, oh, did I not click that link right? Or did I not get that thing because they don't clarify that and it doesn't show up there? And then it's like, the more times that I go back, it's like the less likely I am to finish the transaction. I've had that happen so many times to where, there's been some sort of a special offer or whatever, and then it goes there. And yeah, I should have the common sense to be able to look at the money and see, but sometimes I don't. There's so much stuff involved with this. It's like I don't remember the exact amount I'm supposed to be paying. I just want to see that itemized breakdown of where I got, this for free or this for 50% off or whatever the deal is.
Yeah, or all the bonuses, right? So maybe the price
Yeah,
points.
the bonuses.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same price point as their full price offer, but you're in a specific promotion period where you're getting a couple extra bonuses. Like, it's so important to have those bonuses listed on the checkout page. And you can't do that with a shopping cart, because with a shopping cart, the customer can mix and match any combination of products. So there's no way to know on the checkout page what products are in that shopping cart, because it could be an infinite number of combinations. So that's the value of checkout pages. So even if you're in an e-commerce business, you can actually do retargeting and follow up with people who abandon your checkout process, or maybe you have a best-selling product and a couple other complementary products that don't get added to the cart when they probably should. And so you can create these bundles that actually increase your average cart value for an e-commerce business. So again, you're able to establish the value of that offer, help communicate what they're getting, and just making that as easy of a buying experience as possible. The next thing is having a high value guarantee. We talked about that a little bit on that previous slide when we're talking about risk reversal. At minimum, I think you should do a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. And it's just a great way to, in that sales process, just make people confident. It's like, hey, great. Like, I'm very confident this is the right tool. I want to get in there. I want to test it out, and I can test it for 30 days without having any, without having to technically take a risk. So a lot of times, software companies in general, they'll do a free trial. For the last 5 years, we've never done a free trial, but we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So instead of offering a 7-day free trial and having a bunch of people that aren't really a good fit for our product or service clogging up our customer support and damaging our churn numbers and just like clogging up our system, it's a way for us to kind of create a barrier of entry for people that are really serious, but also letting them know that they have, they're not taking a risk, right? So it's, $50 a month for Spiffy, not a huge barrier of entry, but it's a lot bigger of a barrier of entry than free. So we don't have any tire kickers coming in and making our team's life difficult when they're just really not the right fit. So a little bit of a tangent there, but having a high value guarantee is very, very important. Again, the biggest objection I get was like, well, aren't people going to take advantage of it? Aren't they going to, use it and then, just ask for their money back? And again, yes, you're going to have crummy people in the world that take advantage of it, but for every 20 people that buy, you're going to have one of those crummy people. And so it's very, very important to have that. You want to indicate. Yeah.
And I was just going to say, and legitimately, you want to be able to give these people their money back. Ultimately, if it's not a good fit for the product and everything, it's great customer service, because ultimately at the end of the day, someone that came in, they realized that, hey, maybe this wasn't right for them, doesn't mean they didn't like the product. I mean, it wasn't a fit. If they get 100% money back guarantee, there's no arguing, no questioning, no interrogation, then their friend that needs this product or service, when they're talking about it, it's like, yeah, it wasn't right for me at the time, but it was really kick-ass. It didn't work out for me, and they like were Johnny on the spot. They gave me my money back, and it was all cool. You should go check them out. So I think it plays a lot of different ways.
100%. One of my favorite quotes is like, you build a brand one person at a time, and you never know, like, that person might know somebody, they might 2 years from now start a different business, and they just like, you want to create good experiences in the marketplace. It doesn't matter, like you said, whether or not they are the right fit, like they can know somebody that's right fit, or, it's a small world. You always want to create raving fans, even with people that aren't using your product or service. Another important thing is to indicate a secure transaction on the actual checkout page. This is something that is very easily overlooked, and it's very easy to implement. You just need to state that, hey, your transaction is an encrypted transaction. It is secure. This is something that we do out of the box on all of our Spiffy pages, but it's amazing how many checkout pages don't have this. And so you just want to, obviously make sure that it is a secure transaction, but with HTTPS and all the security stuff that's more standard practice today. Almost every single checkout tool out there is encrypted and is secure, but you need to explicitly state that so that people that aren't technical, that don't understand technology, feel confident entering their information. You want to reduce friction, so you should have as few fields and steps as possible until you take payment. So, it's really one of the things we see a lot of people do is create a multi-step checkout process, which does help streamline the checkout process. So step 1, you would collect first name, last name, email address. And then step 2, you would collect, maybe billing information and credit card information. And if you need to collect more information, have that be after you collect payment. So you just want to make it as easy as possible for people to give you their money. Last, testimonials, stats, awards. Again, we touched on this a little bit as one of the top 3 pillars, but on the actual checkout page, it's essential to have some key testimonials. Dobbin, you mentioned earlier where you've been in a checkout process and you get to the checkout page and there's just that little ounce of doubt and you just need a little extra kick to get over the hump and feel confident hitting that checkout button. And this is where testimonials really are a factor, is actually having a testimonial, not just on the sales page, but on the actual checkout page. People want to see that other people have gotten results that are like them, and having that extra piece of content right there next to the checkout button helps increase conversions.
I was just gonna say, I always read testimonials too, especially when it's down to the transactional purchase decision. I always read them, and the thing about it is, like, using Amazon as an example, so a big cart, I will read 10, 15 different, I want to read the worst, the best, and everything on more of a checkout cart, a checkout page type of scenario. I mean, the testimonials are baked in, they're by design, designed into the system. So they tend to be extremely positive all the time. But it's still, I look at that and I actually read through that stuff, and there have been situations where I just haven't felt right about the testimonials or what I'm reading that is thwarted has thwarted a sale. With the right testimonials, it's projected me towards the sale.
Totally. And so it's imperative to have a testimonial. A testimonial is better than no testimonials for some of the advanced people that might be watching this, or agencies where you're working with your clients. One of the ninja moves is to actually have different testimonials, possibly different checkout pages for different avatars. So if you have your marketing CRM system set up, or you have different buckets of avatars, you can actually have 4 different sales pages with copy, testimonials, images, all geared towards that demographic. So, through your lead gen process, through whatever mechanisms that you have in your business, again, if you are having avatar driven marketing campaigns, or if you have that data, you can have a checkout page with testimonials that are geared towards single moms, or towards business owners, or towards adventurers, or so on and so forth, whatever the different avatars that you're going after for your business. So that's kind of an advanced tactic. Again, if you don't have that information, don't freak out. Again, having a testimonial is better than having no testimonial, but for advanced people that are ready to make some of those smaller tweaks, you're driving a lot of traffic to where those small tweaks can make a difference. That's some ninja stuff that you can do with testimonials. Terms and conditions and privacy policy. So one of the things that people don't think a lot about until it's an issue and until it's too late is actually the legal side of collecting payments and fighting chargebacks and refunds and stuff like that. So it's absolutely essential that you have a terms and conditions checkbox on your checkout page, and also have a link to your terms and conditions policy at the very least at the bottom of your checkout page. So FTC guidelines, regulations require you to have a link to your terms and conditions and a link to your company's contact information on every single page of your online presence. And so that's one thing that's often overlooked, is not having that at the bottom of your page. You want to have a seamless transition between your between your website and your checkout platform. So a lot of times, you're using a different tool. Spiffy is one of those tools where you can have a hosted version of your checkout page on that system. So, for Spiffy, we have, spiffy.co is our website. And so your Spiffy hosted checkout page would be hosted on our server. You can also embed Spiffy into your own website. So it's your own URL. You have full control over the page. So that would be a seamless transition. But if you're having to jump from your website to a different system, you want to make sure that at least visually, the header of your website matches the header of your checkout system. And even if the URL changes to a different platform, that there is a seamless transition, that the visual customer experience isn't drastically different. Because you don't want there to be a red flag that's thrown up, going from a nice website to a checkout page that is a different company's, logo or something like that, or just the page looks completely different, the styling looks different, things like that. You want to have multiple payment options on your checkout page. That's both, having a PayPal option, having payment plans, having subscription options. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to pay. One other awesome thing is PayPal credit. So if you're doing a lot of high ticket stuff, PayPal credit is an awesome way for people to essentially have 0% financing over the course of 6 months. So maybe you're selling a mastermind or a high ticket consulting or implementation package for 10, 15, 20, 25K. Money is a common objection. The cool thing about PayPal credit is that they can check out through PayPal, 0% financing for 6 months, but you as a business owner get paid the full amount up front. And so you don't have to worry about chasing them and making sure they pay their, all of their money on time. Like, that's an agreement between PayPal and that customer. And so you get all of that money up front, which is nice. Obviously, having a payment plan feature for you to be able to carry the payments is nice too. So there's always make it as easy as possible for your customers to buy. Again, breaking out into payments and or having multiple options as far as like a PayPal checkout. There actually are some parts of the world, if you're doing anything with international payments, where we take our banking and credit cards and debit card system here in the United States for granted. And there's a lot of countries out there that PayPal is really the only option for them to do commerce outside of their country. So if you're doing international payments, PayPal is important. Favicon and browser icon. So these are just some small details. At the top of the browser, where it has like the title in the browser tab and the little icon, you want to make sure that all of that stuff is dialed in. It's not necessarily going to see a drastic increase in conversions from just this one thing, or really from any one of these things. Obviously having testimonials and a guarantee, those are some big things that can definitely move the needle, but it's really the combination of all of these things together that really make it so that it's a seamless experience. There's no red flags, everything's dialed in, it looks like a professional page, and people feel confident inputting their credit card information. You want to make sure that you have easy to find contact information on your checkout page. You've done all of the work. You found the audience, you found the customer, they're interested in your product, they went to your sales page, they went to your website, they clicked buy now, they're on the checkout page, and they have one last question. Like, is your email address prominent listed? Is your phone number prominent listed on your checkout page? If not, definitely make sure that you have your contact information easy to find. You can add little chat widgets, with tools like Intercom or Help Scout, or there's a lot. Zendesk, I think, has a widget now too, where people can literally just click a little blurb at the bottom right of your website and fire away a question. So there's lots of cool tools that you can use to make it easy for people to ask that final question on the checkout page. And that's all I've got for right now.
Michael, just the other day I'm on, I won't name the service or product, but a fairly substantial monthly subscription. And I noted that I had lost access, and something had happened with their credit merchant account or something that had stopped basically all of their subscriptions. And and so I went to the site and I was trying to backtrack, and I had my login to see, and nothing was making sense. And all I wanted to do was talk to someone so that I could get the money turned back on and get my subscription. And it was like next to impossible, you know. Great
Crazy.
product, great everything, but I love that, you know, the simplest things of having, you know, easy to access contact information, and particularly, you know, if you're selling, I mean, if you're selling a $6 fidget spinner, maybe not so important and that's more of a product, but like, you know, if you're selling a, you know, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars consulting package or whatever, like, gosh, just being able to make a quick call is so crucial.
Yeah.
I will happily answer the phone for anybody who wants to spend several $100s with GetUWired, or somebody will answer the phone. I promise you that.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the big like challenges and issues with the online marketing space, or you know, businesses in this new world type of a thing, where it's like people try to automate too quickly, right? Like they try to like set up things where like they won't take the phone call for a couple $100. You know, it's like it's a 15-minute phone call. Like if it's gonna make or break the sale, like answer the phone, have conversation with people. People, you know, try to hide behind their laptop, you know, living the you know, the laptop lifestyle on the beach, drinking Mai Tais, like retiring after their first year in setting up their business. And like, obviously you and I know that, you know, that's, you know, not a reality. And so have a conversation with your customers, make it easy for them to call you. And it's just, it's something that I see a mistake that a lot of businesses make. They try to automate everything too fast.
Hey, I know we're getting close to the top of the hour, but could we take a peek at Spiffy? Can you pull up a Spiffy page? Can we get a look?
Yeah,
We've
I'll
been
run
talking
through it
about
really
all
quick.
this incredible stuff. You know, we need to show the beauty.
Yeah. Sorry, time flies. I geek out over this stuff, so I apologize for being a little long-winded, but I hope everybody's getting some good value out of the content there, and got some, at least one or two good tips that you can take and implement right away, regardless of what system you use. As we talked about, Spiffy is a tool that makes it a lot easier to do all of those things. So Spiffy is a tool that integrates with Stripe and PayPal for processing, and then also integrates with tools like ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Keep, and Fusionsoft. So we have direct integrations with all of those tools. And then we also have a Zapier integration to integrate with any other tools. We'll be rolling out more direct CRM integrations in the near future as well. But kind of going back to what I was talking about towards the beginning, it's 2020 and it's still way too hard for the average business owner to figure out, how do I take a day and credit card payment to my website? So we really want to make it super simple for somebody to get a checkout page up extremely quickly, have it already integrated with your CRM tool, so you don't have to hop into multiple systems and set stuff up in multiple systems and come back and make sure it's all connected and stuff like that. So really quick, the first thing that you'd want to do is, you know, connect your Stripe and PayPal account, and then you'd want to connect whichever marketing automation tool you're using. So you just literally come in here and add your API keys, and then every single checkout that you would create is automatically integrated with Stripe, PayPal, and your marketing automation tool. So we have this very simple 5-step creation process that only requires the essential information for you to get a basic checkout page up. So a lot of other tools out there that make you step over all of the branding settings and all the content settings and upsell settings and shipping settings and all this stuff every single time that you create a checkout. But a lot of times you don't need all that stuff. Maybe you're on the phone trying to close a deal over the phone and you just need a checkout page up really quickly and you don't really care what it looks like. There doesn't need to be any extra content. You're not shipping anything. And so we wanted to make it as easy as possible to get a basic checkout page up and then allow you the ability to customize it further. So this first step here is just the internal name of the form. So only you see this within your account. So you can put things in here that you don't want customers to see, you know, something like full price or something like that. Maybe you have discount offers, things like that. Again, this is only for the internal name of the offer. You can clean up the URL. As I mentioned previously, you can also embed this Spiffy checkout right into your own website, right into WordPress, into lead pages, into ClickFunnels, whatever page builder you're using, you can embed this Spiffy checkout right into that page builder, which is pretty slick. So that makes the URL a little bit more irrelevant. Then you get to choose whether you're setting up a standard or a subscription product. Standard is for one-time payments and payment plans, and then subscription is an ongoing monthly or annual service where access it charges on whatever interval that you choose. We'll set up a standard product here. This is actually going to be the name of the product and what shows up on the actual checkout page. So the offer title, we'll just do like a personal brand course, $9.97. And all this is editable after the fact as well. So you can change this later if you need to. And hit continue. This is the last step. This is where you can upload an image for your offer. It does help round out how the checkout page looks, but is not required. We're going to click skip and finish for right now. And we're going to view the checkout page. So this is the basic Spiffy checkout page, integrated with Stripe, integrated with ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or Keep or HubSpot, whatever I have integrated at the account level. All this customer information is going to get sent over to those tools. Sales data is going to automatically get sent to ActiveCampaign, Keep, and Infusionsoft. And this is a mobile optimized checkout. So everything that we do with Spiffy is mobile first. We are actually the very first mobile first checkout platform ever to be created. We've had the luxury of being able to develop Spiffy on the latest and greatest technology. So, even other prominent tools, like ClickFunnels, which is very popular. It was built 5 years ago or so, maybe 6 years ago now. And so that system was built not with the cutting edge mobile technology that we have access to today. We also have the form integrated with Google. So as you're starting to type in your address, nearby addresses start to populate. You click and it autofills. So again, seamless, just making it as easy as possible for people to collect, to check out and collect all their information. You can also remove billing information. So going back to the end of that process, you can now jump to edit the thank you page, add more content, add branding settings and things like that. In the edit checkout page, you have access to the editor where I can now add payment plans. I can add content and upsells. I can add integration actions. So this is where I can, apply tags. So based off of these 3 different purchase events, whether they purchase the checkbox add-on or purchase the upsell or just take the normal purchase, I have whatever I have integrated with my account, I can actually add and remove tags, add and remove automations. So for this example, I selected ActiveCampaign and it pulls in all of my tags from ActiveCampaign and I can apply multiple tags. So when they purchase, those 3 tags would get applied to that contact in ActiveCampaign, which is super slick. Jumping ahead really quick, I know I'm rushing through this. If anybody has any questions or wants to see this or has questions about your use case, you can go to spiffy.co and there's a place to schedule a demo with me directly. And so I can help answer any questions. So I'm not going through everything just for the sake of time, but I do want to show you that this is what the checkout page looks like once you have it branded, once you have a image uploaded, you have some sidebar content, the checkbox offer bump. In this example, we have the billing address fields removed, so they aren't required. So again, just a very simple, basic, short checkout page. We have the PayPal option here. Here's an example of the checkout embedded into lead pages. So you can embed it right into lead pages, drag and drop builder, add testimonials, countdown timers and things in lead pages, and then just have the Spiffy checkout page embedded right into lead pages. This could be WordPress, this could be ClickFunnels, whatever page builder or tool that you're using for your sales pages in your website, you can embed it right into that tool. We also have a pop-up. So this buy now button, this could be like right on your sales page. You can click buy now and the checkout page can pop up right there as well. So that's just a kind of a high level overview of how easy it is to get a checkout page up. Again, I went through that process in a matter of seconds. Obviously I was talking through it, but literally within a couple minutes, you can have everything set up, integrated, and have your first checkout page up to take payment and be able to send that basic checkout page to a customer or take the credit card information over the phone and have that transaction go through extremely, extremely fast. Dobbin, I think you might be muted. I'm not
Oh,
hearing.
there I am. Sorry. Yeah. So whether you're a business owner that likes doing things yourself, whether you're an agency, whether you're someone that works with an agency, Spiffy has application for all of us. You know, with agencies, traditionally, what we go through to achieve what it with great ease Spiffy creates is hours and hours, many times, of CSS modifications, you know, within systems, things that are very time consuming for our customers. As far as the economy of developing impactful checkout page and limiting time, it's just incredible. And then when you look at the features, the autofill, all the thought to every single step of every one of these pages. I mean, since Michael has been working on this, I mean, they're constantly making iterations to make that experience cleaner and cleaner and better for the person that is going to be investing, that's going to be giving their credit card. And this is just a wonderful tool. It's totally in your best interest to go to Spiffy's website, and that's spiffy.co, C-O, right?
Yep.
Go to spiffy.co, find out more information. Is there a actual walkthrough video on the, I can't remember if it's on the website. I think there is, isn't there?
We have a couple of video walkthroughs. We don't have like a full demo, but you know, based off of what integration you're using, you know, for maybe you're using ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or whatever it is, if you click on that page, there's a little demo for that's kind of tailored to whatever system you're using. You don't need to be using a marketing automation system at all either. Like you can literally just have your website and just have Spiffy, and you know, that's that. But that's kind of like the markets that we're going after right now are a little bit, you know, more power users of ActiveCampaign and Keep and Infusionsoft. So yeah, there are some video tutorials. And then as I mentioned, you can come to spiffy.co and there should be a scheduled demo button, either here or somewhere else on the site. And you can schedule a live demo and we'll have a conversation, you know, walk through your use case and answer any questions that you have.
That's great. Well, I couldn't recommend a product more than Spiffy. And you know, with GetUWired, one of the rules, or the rules of us supporting a SaaS product, is one, that the product needs to be awesome. It needs to be incredible. Number two, the product itself needs to fall in alignment with our company's core values as far as how we want to serve customers and the customer experience that goes along with that. And then my third rule that I've placed upon that is that I need to know the people behind the software. So I want to know the owners of the software. Every piece of software we sell here, we know the people behind the software. We're friends with them. We have a voice in that. If we have a concern, if we have needs for our clients, a lot of our clients are, you know, are fast movers. We're doing event work, all sorts of things. If we have an emergency, we need somebody to call. And so Spiffy gets a gold star in all of those areas with us. And if you're, you know, selling services, selling digital products, selling things that you're ultimately sending people to a checkout page, a order form, look deeper into this. You know, there is a high likelihood that you are leaving money on the table, and it is just there waiting for you. This is not something that requires a ton of work. It is for most capable people. They can get in and do this stuff themselves. This doesn't require an agency, a programmer, or some genius to put together. Michael has made a solution that lets normal human beings like you and me, if I dare to call myself normal, to be able to get in and create some incredible things that can improve our customers' journey into the product. And you know, one thing is about getting them to a first purchase, the first experience that people have coming transactionally for you. You may get that first purchase with a you know, a questionable or less than optimized setup, but there is less of a likelihood of someone coming back for a second purchase. People remember the experience that they've had, and they have options in this day and age to go elsewhere. So I couldn't express how important that we feel this is at GetUWired. And once again, I couldn't recommend a product more than I do Spiffy. Just a great product with great peeps behind it. I really appreciate you coming today, Michael.
Thanks, Dobbin. Thank you so much for those kind words. It really means a lot, especially coming from you. And yeah, we just enjoy helping people make money online, and we geek out over all the small details so that other people don't have to, or at least don't have to do it as much as we enjoy doing it. And yeah, we just like building cool stuff and helping enable people to make their business happen and make it easy to take payments, because there's so much blood, sweat, tears, pain, agony that goes into building a business, right? Like we all know as entrepreneurs that that there's a lot of frustration when it comes to tech. And so we just hope that you'll consider Spiffy as a solution for your business, and that we can hopefully help streamline and reduce some of the tech frustration in your life. So thanks again, Dobbin, for having me. Greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody, once again. Michael Hunter from Spiffy. Every month, new fresh content that's going to be coming out, bringing industry leaders in the marketing arena to your computer. So thanks again from GetUWired headquarters here in the backwoods of North Georgia. Dobbin Buck signing out.